Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome to week 8 of the Radical Racing Challenge live on Apex Racing TV. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Peter Mackay. Mark Trenter operating the cameras tonight, and we are here at Montreal, one of the best half street circuits in the world for this round 8 of the championship. Peter, we've seen some awesome action so far this season, some tight twisty circuits, some quite long straight circuits. This one's a bit of an unusual one, very tight twisty first half of the lap, then it opens up in the second half of the lap, and you gotta be cautious of those walls as well. It's a real unique challenge.
It certainly is. Here at Montreal, we know the Wall of Champions. It's called that for a reason. It has claimed many of them, of course, the final chicane, and it's a properly challenging layout. And these little radicals, they're going to be, they're going to be a bit upset launching over these big curbs. So it's going to be a completely new challenge for the drivers so far this season, and especially in qualifying, Sam. You really got to get your brain into that qualifying mode very, very quickly, because only 2 flying laps, quite a short lap as well. So, the drivers have got no time to dither around. They've got to get out there and get the track position, because it is very hard earned here at Montreal.
Definitely, and despite the fact that we have a lot of draft around this circuit, overtaking will not be easy whatsoever for these cars. It's just interesting to see how they can deal with the curbs, which are so prominent, so tall around this circuit. These radicals don't usually deal with them too well, but in qualifying, you've got to absolutely shorten the circuit as much as you can. It's currently Lopez at the top of the standings, as Manuel Rey Olago manages to go to the top of the standings by quite a large margin, quite a big split at the moment between the top drivers. So maybe the second laps bring them all back together a bit. Alex Ellis, new driver for this round, seemingly he's up there in 3rd position with that lap. And the second lap time is now about to be posted. Got Key Gaming out there as well, but once again, as we saw a couple of weeks ago, Peter, no Kane Halliburton. I'm sure that will be a relief to a few of the drivers, but with Halliburton already having a couple of setbacks, remember a very unfortunate Road America round last week, he's leaving himself quite a lot to do, and with Lopez scoring podiums at every race so far this season, this is another opportunity to extend that championship lead.
when you said that, I thought you were going to say, and for another week, we've not got the Tom Christensen livery on KK Ming's car. He's still got the comic book. Now, speaking of KK Ming, he hit the wall there and came out of his lap, and he'll do very well to get out there and set a time. So once again, KK Ming might be going from the very back of the field, and if there's any circuit where you want to do that, where you don't want to do that, that's here at Montreal. Now, I have to say, I like this car here, the 4 car over Largo. It's got a big smiley face on the front of it. Oh, it's like that. That's cool. Whoa! Oh, nearly breaks away from him there on the exit of the final chicane over the line. Can he improve? Oh, Largo. He does. Even with that moment, he edges out Lopez by 1/10 of a second. And also, Alex Ellis, of course, a local driver as well, a Canadian driver. So will know the circuit well, and he goes up to 4th place using that local knowledge to good effect.
Yeah, a couple more drivers still to come across the line. It was a brilliant first lap for Andres Friedrich, who has done the vast majority of the rounds this season. Very squirrely when trying to decelerate the car into the hairpin. Kyan has just gone up into 6th place, so the field has certainly tightened up in that top 10 as these second laps come in. Keeley going up into 15th place there. I believe it's Keeley's first time in the series. With Friedrich with a couple more corners to go, just the wall of champions to negotiate. That looks all pretty good, not attacking the curbs too much. And he's taking the shortest run to the line. He'd be happy with the second row of the grid, I'm sure, Friedrich. And he achieves that. He slides under the 131 barrier and will be lining up in 4th position unless someone else can do something quite spectacular. And just got Fabio Ailozzi, also Dennis Kyriakopoulos, 2 sets of lap time, and Cesar Luis as well. Luis might be in for a decent lap hit, the seed number 12, and he's just approaching the line at the moment. Does Luis improve at all? No, he doesn't. He remains in 20th place. A bit of a shame for the Ford Zilla car as his teammate Lopez takes 2nd place. Iozzi as well, just across the line, and he remains in 14th place. So pretty close there. And Manuel Ray Olargo, I believe, Peter, a driver who we haven't seen this season, albeit I stand to be corrected.
Not from my memory anyway, no, but fantastic to see him up there. Also, Filippa, the number 1 seed, the Argentinian driver, relatively, well, new to us here in the Radical Racing Challenge this particular season. So, a whole new cast here. So, although Pablo Lopez has not got his main adversary, Kane Halliburton here, he's going to have a whole host of other drivers to deal with tonight, and some very accomplished drivers indeed. So going to be a new experience here in the Radical Racing Challenge tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is a real fan favourite, this circuit. I wonder if it's invited a few more drivers along, because this is a proper challenge. Personally, I find this probably the best circuit on iRacing to do hot lapping around. You can always get a couple of centimetres closer to the walls, and I wonder if that's maybe invited a few more guys to this track. Certainly Alex Ellis perhaps liking this as a Canadian himself. So qualifying is complete. All the drivers managed to get in their couple of lap times, and we've got the grid up for you now. It's Manuel Ray Olargo on pole position. Pablo Lopez, championship leader, lines up in 2nd place. Dino Filippa, the seed number 1, starts in 3rd place. There's Andres Friedrich in 4th. Behind that, it's Alex Ellis, Jone Kainen, Joachim Bengtsson, Michael Reinhardt, Ant Castles, and John McHutchinson rounding out the top 10. Behind that is Cedric Krolich, Dan Webster, Ruben Rodriguez, watch out for Ruben actually down there, Dennis Kyriakopoulos, Fabio Aiotti, Edward Keeley, Sebastian Chevalier, Stephen Place, Sergio Ballesteros, Cesar Luis, KK Ming starting way down. I wouldn't rule Ming out of a podium. Sometimes he's absolutely on fire. Sean Malloy, best of luck to the series organiser in 22nd. And Johannes Hesterman, I believe in his first race, starting in 23rd. Still got a few more drivers, particularly the front runners, to get onto the grid. Sometimes we can see quite chaotic starts here, Pete. I hope we don't, because I want to have as many drivers in play for the race win as possible.
That's very true. Yeah, we want to see this new cast of drivers to us here in the Radical Racing Challenge to get in there and see if they can challenge Pablo Lopez, because he is in a bit of a roll at the moment, Sam.
Yeah, he really is. He's won a couple of races so far this season. Second place last time out. And he's looking to back that up tonight. McHutchinson still to get onto the grid, which is a little bit unusual. However, he is now on the grid, and we should have the lights coming on to screen. So we're about to start this race then, week 8 of the Radical Racing Challenge. And away we launch. It was a good start from Lopez. He might still be able to get ahead going into turn 1. Olago staying on the inside. Lopez leaves a lot of space on the inside. A little bit of a lock-up. And that just about saves Olago for that race lead. Good start from Reinhardt to gain a place. Good start from Dan Webster to gain a couple of places. But the front runners all in single file getting ready for the draft on the back straight, which will be coming to them as those tyres warm up as they slalom through this first section of the circuit. Lopez really close on Olago, but he knows that there's no rush right now. But Olago really not pulling away whatsoever, which is quite unusual in this car. And the top 6 or so drivers, Peter, are right bunched together right now.
They are indeed. Yeah, it's of course there are plentiful opportunities for drafting here at Montreal, no less than the Casino Straight, as it's known. As you come out of the hairpin at Lippingale and then up the Casino Straight, lots of opportunities to switch places back and forth. Lopez looking to hook it around the outside of Largo here. Can't get it done, but you'll be able to tuck into the draft of the number 4 car there. We've got it at the front. We can see the big smile on the front of the car.
We can, and I'm sure there's going to be a big smile on Olago if he can resist this early pressure, but it is Lopez up into the lead of the race then. There's almost a move for 4th position as well, but they're all so close. And Olago just isn't in the groove right now, struggling to get those tyres warmed up, it seems, at the moment. Not getting into a rhythm. There's a poor exit for him from the Wall of Champions. However, he's held on to 2nd place for now. Oh, there's a little bit wide there for Friedrich, and Friedrich can't make that move. And off the circuit goes Kynan, who did so well in qualifying. Usually best of the rest is Kine, and I think 5th place last time out at Road America. But this time he's down into 18th. At least it looked as though, to me at least, he got away without any damage.
Yes, indeed, and it looked like he might have got a bit of a help there. Let's have a look through the Senna S's. Yes, quite a big help indeed. Now, who was that gave Johnny? It was Ellis. Are you sure?
No.
Michael Reinhardt. I wasn't sure either, I'll be honest. That hence my hesitance. But yes, Michael Reinhardt there. Whoa, of course, no live stewarding here, so all that he will be given is 4 incident points there. You can use up to 17 of them. So, Johnny Kynan there, really unlucky, in fact.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have been looking forward to this race. It was looking pretty good for him. He's trying to make up a few places, at least almost past his behind Kike Ming now. He's up into 14th place, picking up 7 places, your highest gainer so far in this race, and by quite a large margin as well. Kynan pretty much having to restart his race. And Castles, they're in 11th place, and he's going to be overtaken by Rodriguez. Hasn't made too much progress so far, Rodriguez. That's a couple of places gained for him for the Fordzilla car. Obviously, teams are quite important, you can share tips with one another. However, this is a fixed setup series, the Radical Racing Challenge. Everyone is driving identical cars, and that really means that the skill difference between the drivers can come out. Also, your ability to adapt to the setup, but the setup changes for each race or for each week. It's a really good setup to use. So it's a real good way to get quick for some of these further down drivers. Maybe Iotsu trying to go the long way around Yannick Kynan, but I think Kynan should start pulling away from these guys here.
Yeah, of course, he's a little bit out of sequence here, is Kynan, and you can see he's got a bit of damage there on the back of the car. Hopefully it won't hold him back too much as well. He's in 16th position right now. So you make a good start from McHutchison up to 7th place from the tail end of the top 10 starting there. And here goes Kike Ming up into, goodness me, already up to 13th position. He's been right on the chart, Sam, hasn't he? And putting a move on there. And I tell you what, if he'd had the Tom Christensen livery on, he'd be leading.
Absolutely. Everyone knows that you can't pick up 1x's when you got the Tom Christensen livery on, so his qualifying times wouldn't have been invalidated. So, yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Career complex. He is running the Apex Racing TV logo. Big thanks to Dennis there. It doesn't get you any extra speed, but it does get you favoritism, and that's worth more, at least from my perspective. So Dennis doing very well. Right there. Lopez, the gap very much maintaining to Olago at the moment. The gap always seems to come down to about 9/10 of the second around this part of the circuit, and then opens up to about 1.2 seconds before the back straight, and then it all closes up again because these cars get into the draft at about 1.6 seconds within one another. And it'll be interesting tonight because this circuit is so divided. You know, the first half of the circuit is so tight and twisted, the second half of the circuit is so expansive. We're really going to see the turbulent air in the first part and then the slipstream in the second part. It's going to be a bit of an accordion, I think, throughout the race.
Indeed, yeah, it's been quite a surprise over this season how much the drivers have told us that there is quite a lot of dirty air that comes out of the car in front, which really makes the aerodynamic grip or the front end grip quite challenging if you're following a car, and actually makes it very hard to follow a car closely, and therefore makes it very difficult to overtake. However, the straights are probably long enough here at Montreal where you can kind of negate that. Particularly here at the Casino Straight, you can see the cars ducking and diving around, trying to place themselves in the best position and try not to be mugged there into the Wall of Champions, which of course is a notoriously difficult corner in any car, but particularly in these radicals, they're very, very stiff. So when you go over the curb and you go over the bumps, it can get away from you quite quickly. As Kiki Ming moves up again, now up into 12th place. I actually think this is Kiki Ming's comfort zone now. Sam, we've seen him do this a couple of times this season, qualify quite poorly, and then charge through the field. It's almost as if he quite enjoys doing this.
Big one. Rodriguez, and that's going to be the end of his race, I think. Yeah, that's got a lot of damage. He'll be asked to come to the pits. I mean, you can skim the wall in these cars, and it causes the race-ending damage. But I don't think he can be too. I don't think he can complain too much about the damage model on this one, Ruben, because he whacks the wall on the right side. Seemingly, the rear of the car really gets the majority of the hit. So that's a shame for Ruben Rodriguez. It's a good place now for Kike Ming to move up the position. Just another point as well on how difficult that final chicane is. If you do miss the chicane, you get a huge slowdown. And the slowdowns around this circuit are incredibly harsh. I'm pretty sure someone manages each different circuit for the off tracks in iRacing. They just get a random person off the street and ask them to draw the boundaries. And around this circuit, the slowdowns are just 3 times more than other circuits. I mean, Le Mans, you barely have to slow down around this pace. It is a proper 3 or 4 second loss if you go off this track. So you've really got to be careful with them, and don't be surprised if you see a few drivers real slow offline. That was almost certainly so picks up a slowdown at some point around this track.
Yeah, we've seen it many times play quite a considerable factor. Oh dear, a little bit of a mistake there from the 6 car of Bengtson. Might have got one of those slowdowns there. Actually had to carve across to sort of bail out and protect his line. But you can see already Dan Webster there and Kiki Ming behind in the pop art cartoon mobile. And already up into the fringes of the top 10 after just 6 laps. That's quite extraordinary. Webster going slow. I wonder Webster maybe had a bit of slowdown penalty there to serve, or just saw that wacky paint scheme of Kiki Ming in his mirrors and thought, goodness me, he started from the back. How's he made it up this far? I'll just let him go.
Well, incredibly for Ming, he's only 9 seconds off the lead, which, considering that you start the race, you probably got to the start-finish line about 3 seconds behind, then all the time you lose in the first couple of laps. It is quite impressive. Ming's pace would undoubtedly be in this lead pack. So Lopez's lead has really evaporated. Olago managing to get that gap back down once his tyres got up to temperature. he's been much more comfortable and seems to really be a match for Lopez here. Philippa and Fudrik staying close. Ellis struggling to keep up, but I think Ellis will be able to get close to these guys now that they're all going to start holding each other up, most likely. Reinhardt, another 2 seconds back. That gap's kind of been quite consistent with Reinhardt, so I think Reinhardt might even be able to catch up to these guys on that last lap. He lost 3/10 on that last lap, actually, did Michael, so maybe not, as we see a half move there from Olaga, and this is going to slow up these drives. The top 5 proper no to tell it, and last time out this ended terribly down at Canada Corner at Road America, where we had Kane Halliburton taken out of the race. Very easy to do the same thing around this circuit with all the all the large braking areas.
Indeed, yes, and it's interesting. Pablo Lopez had assumed quite a large lead, but that's been run down quite considerably by Olargo and Philippa as well. 2 of our, could we say, wild cards, I suppose, in the championship. Guys we haven't seen really throughout the season. So Pablo Lopez won't necessarily know how they run, how they drive. But of course, look at this. Pablo Lopez going to the inside line on the straight, then over to the outside to take the preferred line into the final chicane. And whoa, you can say Dino Filippo there making a great move on Rio Largo. Oh, goodness me, and that is perfect news for Pablo Lopez, and he already pulls out 4/10s just from that little exchange.
And real smart driving there from Olaga. He could have gone for the move back, but no, he lifted out and thought, okay, we can catch up to Lopez later on. So nice driving right there from him. This is what it was like for Philippa. I did not see this one coming myself. And yep, up the inside. And got it stopped. Aggressive, but he still made the apex. He didn't lose too much time, did Philippa, so pretty good move. Unlike Road America, it's not going to be easy to make up those positions. You really don't want to be 5th place near the end of the race. And it was interesting, I think, listening to Lopez, I believe it was, last week. I think he was saying how you want to be in the lead. Something could, 3rd place could start attacking you. So if you're in 2nd place, you could start getting attacked by 3rd, and that might drop you guys back from the lead. He really likes being in the lead, well, that's probably the wise thing to do, but it's certainly not going to buy him this race victory, as the gap is going to start coming down again. Lopez trying to break the drop, but it's just so heavy in these cars, and Lopez will probably only have a 4/10 to a second lead across the start-finish line.
Yeah, indeed. It looks like Philippa is the man on the move right now in the number 1 car. And I love how Philippa's got the, well, certainly what's coming up on my feed here is the Plucky Privateer sponsor list. It's like the Weekend Warrior plain white out the factory, straight to the racetrack as well. I quite like that. That's very cool. Of course, it's brilliant to watch these radicals around the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, as to give it its official name. It was actually originally known as Circuit Notre Dame, and the first Grand Prix here in 1978 was won by Gilles Villeneuve, who loved this street circuit. In fact, half of his 6 Grand Prix wins were on street circuits.
Yeah, it kind of confused me a bit, that one, because was it 1980 when he won at, I think it was Zandvoort and Monaco, in that mega powerful Ferrari of his, which was dreadful around the corners, and yet of course he won at some of the most tight twisty circuits on the calendar. But I guess he was just so quick down the straights that once he got into the lead he was unpassable. So he was particularly good around these types.
Oh, he was, yeah, and he just had that extra level of commitment. And I used to love the Gilles Villeneuve lean as well. He used to really get very expressive behind the wheel of the car, and I think that's what endeared him to so many people. But my favourite thing is this, here in Edinburgh, there's, and also down in a village called Peebles, just south of the city, there is a wine shop called Villeneuve Wines, and the owners are big petrol heads, and they started it up in the 80s, and they wondered what on earth they were going to call their wine shop, and they thought, well, Villeneuve, we'll call it Villeneuve Wine, because it sounds French, and we're massive Gilles Villeneuve fans, and such it became Villeneuve Wines.
Good branding, I think. I think, at least subconsciously, I think everyone kind of knows the name as well. It probably has positive connotations of it as well. There was a little bit of a tap, I think, for Castles just going through the Wall of Champions, which might be a good sign. But it is Kynan who moves up into 11th place. I should probably say that many drivers have crashed there who haven't become champions, but it's probably got quite a good ratio for champions versus non-champions. But yeah, Kynan in 11th place. Of course, he fell way down to Kynan, and what's his lap times like? I guess that last lap probably wouldn't be representative now, about a second slower than the leaders, but do you think that he would have probably been, he was ahead of Reinhardt before that incident, so maybe could have been in this lead pack, but yeah, hasn't quite turned out that way after that spin on the third lap of the race. McCutcheon racing Ming now. Oh no, McCutcheon round. I don't think there was any contact there as he quickly gets back going, and well, that was very speedy, only loses 2 places.
Yeah, that was, no, from what I can see, there wasn't any contact, just a little bit of a mistake when lifting off the brake and transferring over there. So a little bit of a shame there for McCutcheon. Goes back to 9th. KK Ming up to 7th. Absolutely exceptional stuff. So we watch Johannes Hesterman battling away here with the number 19, sorry. No, my apologies. Sergio Ballesteros in the 23 ahead in the Martini car with Hesterman behind in the 19 car. There we go, we got it out in the end. And doesn't that Radical look nice in those classic Martini colours?
They sure do. Yeah, that is a nice one.
Would you go gin or a vodka martini?
I'm not sure. I need to do some more experimenting. But Ballesteros, yeah, a driver we haven't seen in the past, I think. But number 23, he squeezed in to this top spec. But he's standing to make some decent iRacing at the moment. Indeed,
yeah, that's the great thing when you somehow sneak into the top split. You've just got to make sure not crash, and you're guaranteed a good chunk of iRacing. Because it's what I find, Sam, is that apart from in most top splits that I've been in before, which isn't many, it does seem very, very aggressive. Maybe it's because I'm the mobile chicane. I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe. And you're not the mobile chicane, as you proved on Wednesday with your excellent performance at Nürburgring. Oh, Friedrich's going to get past Olage here. So Olage, he looks so comfortable in second place earlier on. Well, he's been mugged once. I don't think he was mugged there. It's just a bad lap there for Olage. Struggling to keep up with the race leaders, even though he showed plenty in that speed. Just seems as though, as we saw in the first lap, he's just a bit erratic. Is Olage and susceptible for a small mistake, and seemingly a small mistake coming out of the chicane. It's tricky to follow through there, and yet Friedrich was alongside halfway down the straight, and that was a nice move. So now he's got to work hard as Friedrich to try to catch up to the top two. He's still within draft distance of Philippa now. But this would be astonishing for Friedrich, who's really committed to this series. Always up there in the top 10, kind of a Kynan level driver, I'd say. It'd be fantastic to see him able to achieve a race win.
It would be, yes, absolutely, and certainly right up there. Like you say, punching above his weight quite a bit. The 10th seed in this race, and in the podium positions as it stands right now. Alex Ellis, this has been a good drive from the Canadian as well in the number 8 car. Of course, and now interesting, back at the front, Pablo Lopez, a man who just doesn't seem to ever make any mistakes. He's got Felipa all on his case here. Weaving and bobbing around, going down towards the Senna S. He's got the inside line. Will he be late enough on the brakes? Pablo Lopez closes the door firmly but safely. Very nice positioning there from the Spaniard, and maintains the lead. But it looks like the leading pair have broken away. But wonder maybe now if Felipe feels he's got enough of a margin to really try and throw the cork out the bottle and go for it.
Well, it was a really poor final chicane for Friedrich on that last lap. He managed to get the gap down and then lost 3 or 4 tenths. And if he hadn't lost those 3 or 4 tenths, he would have been right at the box. He would have been well in the draft, but far enough away that he wouldn't have been in the turbulent. I wonder if Ellis will try to go for the move. Has a kind of frustration for that mistake for Friedrich, because, yeah, as you say, the top two have started to pull away. A bit of a slide there for Philippa, and that might just be his chances of a move on this lap coming to an end right there, but he's still got a few more attempts at it, and you almost certainly want to be the lead driver going on to the final lap of the race. It's such an advantage to be on the inside going into the final chicane. You really don't want to leave it till the last lap for that, so Philippa, I think, will take whatever chances come his way. He's gaining, won't be close enough for the chicane, but if he can just get the right distance back, he should have a lovely run through the chicane as he skims the world champions, but he messes it up slightly again, and well, he'll be able to close back in, but he's wasting a few opportunities now, Philippa.
Yeah, once again, Pablo Lopez really starting to turn the screw now. He's just so inch perfect every race, no matter what circuit we go to, Sam. He just doesn't make mistakes. It just shows you, if you really dedicate yourself to a particular car that's maybe a little bit more fickle like this one, there's real gains to be made. Of course, we know that Pablo runs in other cars and very successfully too, but he really is a world-class master of this Radical SRA.
Yeah, he knows it ever so well. Does the data packs as well for virtual racing school on the Radical. So an absolute veteran in it as well. He knows it better than anyone. He doesn't make it look so easy to drive, even though it's anything but, particularly around this type of circuit. Going and trying to make up another place here on Bengtson. That was the battle for 10th place, and then Friedrich kind of maintaining the gap now to the race leaders, maybe dropping back a little bit more. Philippa only 4.5 tenths of a second back. I think we're going to have to go to the lead battle here, because this is going to be getting pretty tight going into turn 1. At the moment, Philippa's just too far back, but he messed up the chicane last time. Let's see if he can get it right this time.
Whoa, looks pretty committed there. Looks to have got a good run. Lopez has got a bit of problems now with Dino Filippo. And look at this in the background. Goodness me. Friedrich weaving and switching all over the place. Ellis and Olargo all over him like a swarm of wasps. And oh, dear me, Ellis loses it on the brakes, gets onto the grass. Oh, and look at Olargo. He goes, thank you very much. Up the inside I go. And Friedrich's going, oh, goodness me. He's still feeling dizzy from going down the pit straight, but there goes Olargo again, and look, Olargo's got a bit of damage. I wonder if he's made contact with one of the walls.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's kind of had a downturn in pace in the second half of the race. Damage. Oh, well, that was late there for Ellis. So Ellis managed to get past Olargo then onto the chicane, so that I kind of pulled us away from that one. Ellis managed to get ahead, and then Olargo managed to get the pair of them in the first half of the lap, but I think he'll be a sitting duck with that damage. Oh, he's into the wall, so that's going to be game over surely. That was a huge hit. You can see the damage on the car. He must have steering damage after that, albeit he's still trying to fight these guys. Lopez and Philippa, 3 tenths of a second between them as we are about to move on to the last lap. Philippa just in that foreground, seemingly trying to get out of the draft. Yes, he is. So he's going to go for the run through the chicane. He needs to nail the chicane. Hasn't nailed it for a while. This is what it's going to come down to. But he hasn't got it. He hasn't got it.
Not as yet, but 1 lap to go. The white flag is in the air. 1 lap to go here at Montreal. Can Filippa do anything to break Pablo Lopez's stronghold on this series? Alex Ellis up to third now. By some form of miracle, Olargo is still carrying on. He was nursing rear aerodynamic damage anyway, and then a big smack in the wall, and he's still somehow limping it around. So Olargo clearly had, with a clean car, got more pace than this, Sam, but that's the key thing. You've got to keep, especially here in Montreal, you've got to keep the car clean.
Definitely. That was strange damage. Maybe we'll get a chat with him after the race. Certainly can rely on a chat. Oh, Olargo's into the wall again. Olargo off the circuit. I wonder if he'll even get that car back to the checker flag. Maybe it was just a spin, in fact, for Olargo. We'll see how this one kicked off. Was it a hit, actually? No, it was by himself. And just losing the rear end. And not too much damage, but a shame for Olargo, and he drops down to 7th place. But in the battle for the lead, it's down to 1.5 tenths of a second. Look at Philippa. He's absolutely stormed around this lap. He was a second behind at the line, but now he's taking the race lead for the first time in this race. Lopez lost the win on the last lap at Philippi. He lost the win last time out at Road America. Is he going to lose it this time as well? They're side by side going into the chicane, and he's cut the chicane. He'll have to grind to a halt.
Here comes
will
Ellis.
Philippa, and instead it will be Pablo Lopez to take another race victory and extend his championship lead. Lopez wins at Montreal. Philippa holds off Ellis. He really tried it, but that inside line into the chicane was decisive. Olago trying to come back at Reinhardt, but that mistake was Kurtzon's for him. Krolich, McCutchinson and Kynan round out the top 10. And like I was alluding to just before there, Peter, you know, he's been unlucky on the last laps this season, has Lopez at Phillip Island and at Road America, but that time he put his car in the right place and he's been able to take another race win.
Yeah, that was really well deserved for Pablo Lopez. He didn't make one single mistake, and fair play to Dino Filippo, because he tried everything and he just thought, I've got to go for this. I've got to go as late as I dare, and didn't miss it by an awful lot. But as soon as he missed that chicane, it was game over. So a real pity. But it's a great battle indeed. Great to see them going side by side down the casino straight on the last lap.
Yeah, that was absolutely awesome to watch, and still plenty more rounds of this championship to go. Of course, all of them broadcasted by Apex Racing TV. Big thanks to SDK Gaming for providing our overlay for this for Apex Racing TV. So everything that you got on the left, you got the timing board. You've also got the replay icon there. You could do all sorts of customization with SDK Gaming for broadcasting, streaming, and also a heads-up display. Got massive customization for it. Can change the colors, can change the fonts, can change the layouts. Absolutely everything, and some great tutorials as well on how to do that. So do check out sdkgaming.co.uk. That was Dino Filippo going wide. It's just the nature of that final chicane. You can't go too wide there. And so when Lopez had the inside, that was game, set and match. Just glad that they didn't collide going through those final couple of corners. So we should have the results up on screen. There we are. Pablo Lopez, 2.1 seconds clear of Dino Filippo. Alex Ellis rounding out the podium. Was very close in the end for Ellis, and he'll be a bit annoyed that he wasn't able to stay a bit closer to the race leaders to pick up on any mistakes. Andres Friedrich, I believe, with his best result of the season in 4th place. Kike Ming, what a drive. The 8.5 seconds off. He was 8.5 seconds off by lap 4. So Ming definitely had the pace to win tonight. Just waiting for that race win, but still some great overtaking up there. Michael Reinhardt was in 6th place, and then it was Manuel Ray Olago, Cedric Krolich, John McCutchinson, and Yone Kynan. Good comeback there from Kynan. Joachim Bengtsson was in 11th place, then it was Ant Castles, Dennis Kyriakopoulos, Edward Niley, Sebastian Chevalier, Dan Webster, Sergio Ballesteros, Johannes Hesterman, Sean Malloy, Stephen Place, Fabio Iozzi, Ruben Rodriguez, and Cesar Luis, rounding out the 23 cars. It was just those bottom 3 who retired from the race. And we are going to have a chat with our race winner for tonight. It is Pablo Lopez. Pablo, congratulations. That looked like a lot of fun, but you were certainly pushed very hard from the others. How are you feeling right now?
Really nice, although I missed Kane and Erin today, but Dino was amazing. And also Manu, who did the pole, which is really close to my town as well. Is we know each other. But Dino was amazing today. We had a net code, like 5 meters net code. It was too much because the connection, I don't know. But luckily we could still go on and fight for the win in the last lap, in the last corner, side by side in the chicane, in the Wall of Champions. Dino just tapped the grass, and I had the position exiting the chicane, and just time to celebrate.
Definitely, absolutely right there. Who would you say was the fastest driver today? Do you think you were faster than Dino, or do you think he had the edge?
I think Dino had the little edge today. Yeah, like 2-3 tenths or so today. Yeah, definitely. Also,
Uh,
it's impossible to escape from the draft if the people behind doesn't fight. So he was catching me really really easy.
Yeah, he was absolutely on fire tonight. We're over halfway through the season now, and you've got quite a big gap in the championship with Kane missing a couple of meetings now. How do you rate your chances for the championship, or are you not thinking about it yet?
I think we are already in the week 8, so I think I have it quite nicely to win already, because if I don't race more, I will not give more iRating in the next races, so that will be less points to have a chance for Kane. I don't know, but I will race anyways because I love it. Friday nights here is amazing, and thanks to Apex Racing TV for broadcasting it.
Next up, we've got Sebring. That one makes me a bit uneasy because don't these cars react badly to bumps? And Sebring's a very bumpy circuit, but how do you think that's going to play out?
I love Sebring. This maybe my favorite track for the Radical. One of the first endurance tracks I did in the Radical back in 2010, and I have some feelings whenever I race there. So I look forward for a really nice battle. Hope Erin and also Kane join, and many more.
Absolutely. Well, big thanks for having a chat with us, Pablo. Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Again, thanks to my teammates who joined today, but today was a bad day for them. They crashed. So have a nice weekend and keep it up, boys. And also to Dino, because the fight was really nice.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us once again, Pablo, and best of luck for next week.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Pablo Lopez there, your race winner. Also, another quick shout out to Apex Racing Academy, who provides lots of setups for rallycross cars, prototypes, single seaters, and GT cars. They do track tutorials as well, kind of commentary on hot laps. From some of the best iRacers in the world, such as Peter Bayman and Kevin Ellis as well. Many of the Porsche Esports Super Cup drivers, and also iRacing World Rallycross drivers as well. So certainly do check out apexracingac.com for more details on that. At the moment, Peter, we don't have anyone for a chat with us, but we'll hang about for a bit longer because we have got Sebring next time out. Like I said, real bumpy circuit. So I was quite surprised there when Pablo uh, sounded as though he was really looking forward to it. But well, I think my teeth would be shaking out of my skull, to be honest, around that place. It doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun in these cars.
Oh well, it'll be a challenge for the drivers, but I'm sure the setup will be kind of a setup. You always go for a little bit higher ride height and a little bit softer springs as well. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun for the drivers. And I mean, Sebring is just a joy to drive around. It's a proper classic circuit and the home of American sports car racings for goodness for nearly over 70 years now. So yeah, it's a special place. We're gonna have a lot of fun when we go there.
Absolutely. And do you think Halliburton's still got a decent chance of this championship? I mean, we've got 4 drop weeks in this series. Obviously, Kane may have been doing other splits, so he may have still got a decent amount of points. But I don't know. If seeing that Lopez, I think, has finished on the podium every week so far, there just seems to be no stopping him.
No, definitely not. And I think, yeah, Pablo is on a bit of a roll for sure. And we'll see how all the maths and the calculations work out. But to be honest, I would hope that it goes to the guy who races the most regularly and strings the kind of most consistent run together. And at the moment, that would be Pablo. But with 5 weeks remaining, who knows?
Definitely, and of course all of those weeks will be broadcasted by Apex Racing TV at the same slots. Of course, make sure to give the Radical a try, the Radical Racing Challenge. If you're on iRacing, it's a fixed setup series, so just jump in, do a practice session, and yeah, you could well be up on the pace straight away. It's a real fun car, lots of slipstreaming, and so that makes the racing absolutely brilliant. Very brittle cars these, but yeah, they are a lot of fun to drive. I think that will be about it from us for tonight. Thank you for tuning in, and of course, if you've enjoyed this broadcast, please do leave a like on it. We've got plenty more action coming up on Apex Racing TV over the next week or so, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and you can see all of our videos coming up. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Peter Mackay and from Mark Tranter, we are going to say goodbye, and we'll see you next time out at Sebring.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.